Away from their families and their homes, they spend their lives behind bars. Since its founding around 70 years ago, Israel has imprisoned an estimated 1 million Palestinians. And that can include anyone, from children to legislators and parliamentarians. Most prisoners are arrested for their political affiliation or for public disorder. So that could be anything from attending a demonstration to writing a Facebook post that the Israeli army considers incitement. Today, 5,800 Palestinians languish in Israeli prisons, including over 60 women, 270 children, 20 journalists, and 530 Palestinians sentenced to life. So how did they get there? Palestinians can be arrested at home, in the street, or at checkpoints. And it's done in one of a few ways. The first is through the Mustaribin, an elite Israeli unit trained to look and speak like Palestinians. They put on disguises, go into densely populated areas in the West Bank unnoticed, and pick up unsuspecting Palestinians. Another more common way is night raids. That's when soldiers storm Palestinian homes in the middle of the night with no prior warning. They bring attack dogs, break down doors, and regularly intimidate family members. And if they make an arrest, the detainee is often beaten, handcuffed, and taken to a detention center where they can be kept for up to 2 months without a trial. Under Israeli law, the interrogation stage can last months, and prisoners can be denied lawyer visits for 2 months. During interrogation, many prisoners report physical and psychological torture. They can be sleep-deprived, beaten, and tied in stress positions for hours on end. Since 1967, more than 70 prisoners have died during the process. And in between interrogations, prisoners are waiting for their trial and an official jail sentence. That's if they're not placed in administrative detention. Prisoners in administrative detention can be held for up to 6 months without being charged or given a trial. These prisoners are considered a security threat based on secret information that the prisoner has no access to, and their detention can be renewed and extended indefinitely. Since its occupation of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip in 1967, Israel has held more than 50,000 Palestinians in administrative detention. Today, there are over 440 Palestinians waiting to be charged. Prisoners are kept in one of 24 prisons and detention centers inside Israel, regardless of where they were arrested. And keeping prisoners from an occupied land in prisons outside that land is illegal. And that's not all prisoners deal with. Conditions in prisons are dire, where prisoners' rights continue to be violated. Since 1968, many prisoners have staged hunger strikes protesting against administrative detention, the prevalence of solitary confinement, and for better conditions in general. Not much has changed. Cells in solitary are cramped and dirty. Detainees can normally be kept there for 2 weeks, but the courts can extend that to 6 months or even indefinitely. More than 700 prisoners in Israeli prison today are in urgent need of medical treatment. Instead of the medication or treatments they need, prisoners are given painkillers. Prisoners are not given access to the medical examinations, specialized doctors, or surgeries that they need. And over 60 prisoners have died due to medical negligence since 1967. Today, more than 20 prisoners have cancer and aren't getting the treatment they need. Navigating indefinite detention without a trial or sentencing, or fighting sicknesses they're not getting help for, might be easier if prisoners could see their families. But that's difficult to manage too. Only immediate family members are allowed to visit prisoners, and even then, they have to apply for visitor permits through the Red Cross. Technically, prisoners from the West Bank are allowed visits every 2 weeks, while prisoners from Gaza are allowed visits once every 2 months. But a lot of these requests get denied for unexplained security reasons. If the permit does get cleared, the visiting family member's day requires waking up at dawn, driving for hours, and passing through several military checkpoints, all of which can take an entire day, all for a visit that lasts 45 minutes. And that's the best-case scenario. Some family members will have their permits approved and make the long journey, only to be denied entry once they get there. Prison security can turn visitors away once they've arrived, citing anything from inappropriate clothing to an unexplained security issue. Prisoners with short sentences can look forward to reuniting with their families once they're out. But for those serving longer sentences, or even those waiting to be sentenced in administrative detention, that wait feels even longer.